Hey, bitch. Okay. Okay.
And this is Who's the Asshole? Get it, get it.
That was great. That was so great. It's so good to see you. Also, wait, can
That's
I
so
just
good to
like
see you.
comment? Like, how cute are we with our matching little
We
hats?
are. We didn't even
We're
plan it.
vibing. It's so
We're ready.
summery, and I'm about it.
It feels summer. It feels fucking hot.
Yeah. Here it's actually so dark and rainy and lovely. I'm making soup for dinner. Like, that's so weird.
That is so crazy. In Nicaragua, in the burning heat.
Yeah, but when you live in the heat for this long, like I have, when it gets down to like 84, it feels like a cool evening. Like now it's down to like
That's so
80. I'm like,
true.
oh, lovely. Like this is a chillin' evening. It's rainy. It's 80 degrees. Like it's soup weather. It's soup weather.
Yeah. That's insane because here it's like 95 right now, and I'm like, holy shit, I forgot what it feels like to be in the heat. And I'm like, never, I always think of you. Every time I get super hot in my house, I'm like, nah, Hannah had it way worse.
Reminds you to be grateful, right? My
Yeah.
mom said the same thing.
And then I go to the beach. What
Yeah,
else is there to
that
do?
as you should. When my mom came here for a month, she said every time it's like rained this summer where you guys are, she's like, I just remind myself how thankful I am to be for like any dreary weather because it's not so hot. I'm not dying of heat. And I'm like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It makes you
I
grateful.
love it. Well, shall we read a story?
Yes. Do you have a story for me?
Oh yeah, I'll go first. I'm cool. I'm
Okay.
cool. Okay. Um, all right. Wait. Un momento.
I know. I think I said I'll
Um,
go first. So my
I
bad.
think you
And
did, so I'm a little thrown off, but I'm ready now.
I
Okay.
just want to throw a curveball at you because I'm wearing a baseball
I know.
cap.
Yeah. Oh, cute. Cute. Okay, here we go. The question is this: am I the asshole for replacing myself with my twin brother at my in law's Christmas Eve party to see if anyone would notice?
That's crazy.
I've always,
I
okay, like, I've
So
always
identical
wanted to
twins,
do some
clearly.
shit like this with a twin. Like, it would just be so cool if I had a twin and I would just fuck around with people. I mean, what a
Dude,
life.
I had a twin two sets of identical twins in elementary school. Their names were Maddie and Kinsey. Both sets of twins were named Maddie and Kinsey, which is crazy. And you literally could not tell them apart. And I remember one of the Maddie or Kinseys had another one take their test for them and no one knew because she was like
Yep.
hella smart. I was like, dude,
Yep.
that's so genius.
It's genius. It's like,
Like,
you know what's a weird thought I've had though? Just a side
what?
tangent. For like, if you were a twin and then you're like with your partner, right? How weird would that be to have a partner who like
I've thought
sees
about
you?
that.
That's just so strange. Or if you were dating a twin and every time you would see their twin, like especially ones that look so alike, so
Yeah.
weird.
It's like you are physically, sexually attracted to them.
Exactly.
You have
Exactly.
to be. And then no,
Yeah.
okay, I was actually just listen or not listening, but watching this TikTok, and it was the same situation. It was like people were asking in the comments like, well, you obviously know that your boyfriend's attracted to your sister. And
Mhm.
she's like, well, we have such different personalities and like all this stuff. But I'm like, but bro, like you guys are literally identical. Like
Yeah.
it's
But
crazy.
at the end of the day, like people are gonna be your partner's gonna be attracted to other people,
Oh,
like
a
just
hundred percent.
human nature wise. But it is weird. Like you love you, and then also there's like another. I don't know, something weird about that.
But
But
they probably
anyways,
have like
back
such a
back to the
tight
story.
relationship too, though. Yeah. Anyways, we could go
I
on
love it.
forever about twins.
We could go on forever about literally anything.
That's so true. Give us a topic.
We got you, bitch. We're here.
Uh,
Okay, so replacing themselves with their twin brother at their in-laws Christmas Eve party.
Okay.
I am 31 and I have an identical twin brother. For a while, I've told my wife that none of her family members notice me or care about anything I do on Christmas Eve, but still insists on me attending. She told me that's not true, that they genuinely like me and enjoy talking to me. But I know that the only times they've included me, I had to basically insert myself into conversations, and it felt awkward and unnatural. So I had a wager with my wife. Oh, he brought the wife in. Okay, to bring my twin brother instead of me and see if anyone noticed. I purposefully did not prep him on anything. He went in completely clueless. He That's so funny.
That
He
is
knew
so
why we were
funny.
doing it. It's so funny. And like what a like the balls in that man to be like, "Sure, I don't know anything about anybody and I'm going to go in
Why
anyways."
not? They're gonna be like, dude, remember last Christmas when I got you that present? And he's gonna be like, yeah.
Yeah,
Like, what do you
but
say?
let's
You have
see.
no idea.
Let's see though. It's just people don't know. Let's see.
That's true.
He knew why we were doing it and he was game. As I suspected, Steve confirmed that he wasn't approached all night. Nobody could tell he wasn't me, and he admitted he even felt excluded and could only imagine how I felt. So for Christmas morning, I invited Steve to join. Normally, he's with my mom and dad every year. They know about him, obviously, but didn't know about the switcheroo. That was when I revealed that last night I was Steve. And I expressed disappointment that nobody noticed. Oh my gosh, he called everybody out and said, "This is why I stopped trying. Nobody talks to me." My wife drew the line here. She was hoping we would keep this between the two of us as a funny prank. But how can I expect her family to see what jerks they've been if I don't expose it? But am I the asshole? Oh shit, that is a
Damn.
twist I did not see coming.
That was a twist. So you kind of cut out for like a teeny second of it. So were you recap that like last 10 seconds? Like what happened?
Yeah. So, wow, you missed the juiciest part because the
I know,
juiciest
I
part is
did.
basically he brought his brother Steve to Christmas morning the next day
Yeah.
and announced to the whole family, like, we did this switcheroo, that I had actually been Steve last night, and that he was disappointed that no one had noticed that they switched, and that this is why he stopped trying because
That's
nobody talks to
crazy.
him. And then his wife got upset, understandably. She said she was hoping that they would keep it between the two of them, like as a prank, a funny little joke.
Yeah.
But he says, "How can I expect her family to see what jerks they've been if I don't expose it?"
Oh, sad.
Yeah. So he like
How did that
feels
family
left
not
out.
know? Yeah. But how did that family not know that they switched? If like, I mean, they really must just not talk to him ever.
Yeah, exactly. It's one thing
You
like
know?
it's like they don't maybe looks they look exactly the same, so you can understand if they he walked in at first and like they didn't notice.
Sorry, I had to cough for a second.
You're good, bitch. If you have any sort of conversation with the person, you should notice, which means that literally no one talked to him.
You would 100% know who that person is, right?
Yeah, you should. If you're anyone that actually cares about that family member. I'm trying to imagine like if any of my in-laws were to show up if they had a twin. There's no way that anyone would ever come to a family event of mine and not get interacted with and not be involved and have conversations.
Same.
So that just
Absolutely
shows
not.
that that family just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, like they genuinely don't care about him because you clearly, I mean, it sounds like they know nothing about him and they didn't have any interest in talking to him either. And then they didn't even notice that he was a complete different person, but just that he looked the same, obviously.
Okay, what do you think about the fact that he decided to like call everybody out?
Um, and this was the real guy, right? The guy that he was
Yeah.
imposing, his twin. Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's like kind of fair. Like, how would you not realize that that wasn't me? Like, I think that if it were me and I'd be doing it as like a joke and no one noticed, I would feel so shitty. Like, that's not me. That's my sister. Just because we look alike doesn't mean we're anything alike at all. You know? So it would feel pretty shitty. Ugh, but like, I get, like, if the wife wanted it to be a kind of an inside joke.
What do you think
Oh,
he's
I
trying to
don't
get
know.
out of it though? That's what I don't really get is maybe he just needed a moment to express himself and be like, "Dude, this is how I felt, already left out, and now this is just basically confirmation that you guys do not pay any attention to me and don't involve me unless I insert myself. So do you think he was just, I mean, I can't tell if he was just trying to like let them all know that he felt hurt, or if he's actually trying to like, I don't know, like change something and be like, "Hey, pay attention to me." I don't know. Like,
Maybe he was wanting like the validation of like, do they care? Do they not care? And then he kind of just wanted to like prove a point to himself. I don't know.
or is he just trying to make them feel like shit the way he's felt? You know?
Yeah,
Like I
like
felt like
have a
shit.
little taste of your own medicine kind of thing.
Exactly.
Be-
Like I've been embarrassed and felt left out. Like I want you guys to feel shitty now and embarrassed because I'm fucking calling you out for not noticing that I'm not your son-in-law.
yeah, oh God, that's just, I don't know. There could be so many roads you could take on this one.
Well, and like the thing too, okay, so I kind of see where the wife is coming from. She thought it was going to be a joke, which she probably at first when they talked about it, I can just see me and Justin giggling and coming up with an idea like this if we had a twin and being like this will be so
Yeah,
fucking funny. Let's do
100%.
it. So I get why she just thought it was just going to be a joke, but also it seems like she's not aware that her family doesn't that there's a problem here, right? Like
Yeah,
it
definitely.
would be just a funny joke if they had noticed or if there had been any sort of like acknowledgement of the fact that it was someone different. But the fact that
Yeah,
there
that's so
was none of
true.
that, like at that point, I don't think that she can really get mad at him because there's a problem here. Something needs to change, right? And like that's on her kind of because that's her family.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe they should have said like a little bit, I don't know, when no one noticed, be like, oh my gosh, this is actually Steve. Ha ha ha. Or like this is, I don't know, or like made it a joke instead of bringing it to the next morning and being like, by the way, hope you guys feel like shit because that wasn't even me.
You know what would have been funnier is if he had just showed up that night. Like if
To
he
what?
had just walked in, the real guy had just walked in
Oh, so
after they'd
funny.
already been there with Steve for like a couple hours, and then he just walks in and they're like, "Wait, what the fuck?" Like
Dude, that
that
would have
would have
been
been actually
hilarious.
funny. Yeah, and they would have been like, "Oh, look at this dude. He whoa, ha ha ha." But now it's like it's more shameful the way he did it, where he's
It
like, "Let
it
me just
totally
shame
is.
you into feeling guilty for not noticing." And yeah, it's kind of icky.
It is a little icky.
It's kind of an
Um,
asshole move on his part.
to mention it the next morning.
The way he went about it. Like
Like
it
the
seems like a
OG
passive
twin.
aggressive way. Yeah, the OG twin, he even the initial idea, it seems like his whole intention was just
It
to
was
like
like
prove a
a
point.
Yeah, and it was almost like a malicious plan versus like a joke. Or do you think it was like intentionally, or do you think that it was, I don't know, because he already had this thought process that like this family didn't like him, they didn't talk to him, and then he set this up kind of. So maybe he just had like a malicious intent from the beginning.
Yeah, I don't know if it's malicious. I don't think that he was like the way at least I'm again, we can only take the information we
I
have. But
know,
the
I
information
know.
it's so little, right? Like we don't know the whole context. But what I see, I feel like he's not trying to do something evil, but I think he feels hurt. He feels jaded. And so some of that is leaking out. Like he created this plan to basically, like I said before, I think, make them feel like shit the
Get
way
back
he's
at them.
felt. Yeah.
That's a teeny bit. Don't you think that's a little bit malicious?
Yeah, that's a little malicious, I guess. That's a tiny bit a little malicious.
An
Malicious is
evil
such a big
plan.
word, though.
I
It's
know
like hate, where you're
it's a
like, it
harsh
carries so
word,
much weight. Yeah. I mean, but then at the same time,
but
okay, now this is my perspective. I think we've talked about this
okay.
before on an episode. If there's family issues, yeah, we did. I think on the bitchy mother-in-law's episode. If there's family issues, it's that partner's responsibility to handle it with their family, to
Yes, we
have their
did talk
partner's
about
back.
this. Absolutely.
Yes.
And I feel like
So,
there's been a couple instances in stories where it's been like one guy really had his wife's back, which is cool. But then
Mm-hmm.
one guy was like a fucking mama's boy and didn't say shit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But yeah, if there's
So
a family
do
issue,
you feel
like,
like what do you feel like the wife could have done? Like, do you think there's anything she could have done to help if she noticed that this was a problem between like her family and not really giving any sort of attention or including her husband?
um, that's tough because like you said earlier, like if you were like if I had a twin and like me and Kyler would kind of do this as a joke, and I'm wondering what I could do that would make it. I don't know. I just think the wife was just kind of stuck in the middle of it, but also it is her family, so like I don't know. Maybe she should have been like, I don't know. Fuck,
I
I'm
know.
torn.
Maybe she could have
What
done
do you think
something
she could have
before
done?
they even got to that point. Before they even got to like because you're right, once they started the joke, then she's kind of in the middle of it and it's just like messier and there's not really something to do there. But maybe if she did something before like if okay, I for example, I remember when Justin and I first he first met my family. He is introverted and kind of like goes and takes his own space whenever he wants, and he literally does not give a fuck about obligations or anything like that, right? So like, oh, we're having everyone's playing games or whatever. He doesn't feel obligated to join the games. If he wants to go read a book in the corner of the room, he's going to do that, right? And
See, I
so
wish I had
people,
that trait.
I know, it's respectable, it's admirable, I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
But when he first met my family is not like that at all. Like if we're playing
No.
games, every single person is joining in, and generally because they want to, but also because we're just including everyone. And so my family was like coming to me and they're like, "Oh, he's having a bad time or he like does he not like us? Like he blah blah blah." Like they kept or they but they were saying it in joking ways. They'd be like, "Oh, he doesn't like us. Look at him over there in the corner." And like saying shit like
Yeah.
that was just kind of like jabby.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, "Dude, this is just Justin. Like you gotta let him be him. And if you do that, like he's gonna when he's there, like he's happy to be there." But that was something that I had to like confront my family with. So I feel like with this, I feel like she should have like maybe before talked to her family and been like, "Yo,
Before the morning or
um,
when?
before this whole joke went down, if
Yeah,
her
yeah.
husband is expressing to her,
Oh,
there's
like
an
before,
issue
way before this joke even
way before."
happened. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because obviously there are some issues there then, and I think he's probably addressed it before, like, oh, I don't really think your family likes me that much, or, like, and then maybe to
He
show,
has.
uh,
It says that in the story.
okay,
She told me that's not true, that they genuinely like me and enjoy talking to me. So she
okay.
like was like, "No, no, that's not true," when he expressed it before.
Yeah, so there's an issue prior to this joke that should have been addressed, and I think maybe that's what she could have done. Um, you know, kind of squash
Yeah.
the bug before it got to an issue.
I know. So then who's the asshole? Longest pause ever.
Crickets. Let's put some cricket noises in here.
Cricket
Um,
noises. Yeah, that's a tough one. Honestly, there's a lot of like I
I,
kind of feel like it's like my story last time where they're all like assholes.
I think. Oh gosh, I think it might be the OG twin for saying like for being kind of for like almost I don't know, bringing it up in the to the family to make them feel like shit because like two wrongs don't make a right.
Hmm.
Like I just don't think that that was the I don't know the kindest thing.
Girl, speak with confidence.
What?
I said, girl. You said, I don't know, but I know you know. I agree with you. I think he's the asshole
Okay.
too.
I mean, if I have to pick one, if we're deciding.
I think, like, what we talked about before, that there's like a slight malicious intent there. There's like a passive aggressive tone beneath what he was
Yeah.
doing. And so at that point, it's like, learn how to
And
communicate.
and it's your wife's family. So I just feel
Yeah.
like I mean, you have all this resentment kind of built up probably and but that's just not the way to go about it to like almost, embarrass her whole family. And then it's like a you and
Yeah.
them now they're going to really have an issue. I don't know.
Hmm. Well, they're
But I
gonna think
guess
you're a
yeah.
douche now because you just did that. But also, like,
Yeah.
they got some issues too. They're not off the hook,
Yeah.
and
They're
neither is the
not,
wife.
no, no. They're all semi assholes,
Yeah.
but I would have to go with the husband on this one.
He's the one with the crown today, though. So I
Yep.
agree with you.
Do you have a
And
life
life
lesson for us
lesson.
today? Oh,
Let me consider that. Our life lesson today is if you have a twin, fuck some shit up. Please do
fuck
it
some
for
shit
me.
up.
Do
Please
it
tell
for
us
me,
about
do it
it.
for Bailey. Yeah, please. Like I love that shit. That's so funny. I want like a like what is it? What's I can't even think of the freaking movie with Lindsay Lohan. What's the movie? I was gonna say Freaky Friday.
Oh, oh my gosh. It's like my favorite movie ever.
No.
Not It
It
Takes,
takes
no.
two. That's a different one. That's with Mary Kate and
That's a
Ashley.
video game.
No, that's also a movie.
Oh, okay. I just played
And a
that
video
recently,
game.
so.
It's a great video
Um,
game.
it's like where they go to the camp and then they switch lives
Yes.
and
Yeah, it's whatever.
the stepmom
Identical
gets a
twin
lizard in her
shit.
mouth. Okay.
The chocolate
Anyways,
fudge gets spilled on them or whatever it
yep.
is. Maple syrup.
Yeah, we all
Anyways,
know that we all know the movie. We're just not gonna
we
say
know
it.
the movie. Yeah, and anyone listening to this is probably screaming at us, like, why don't
Yeah, I
you remember
know.
what this is? I'm gonna add it afterwards in the text. So you're
Please
gonna see
do.
us just laughing at us
I'm
being stupid.
I'm gonna do a voiceover just of the movie
Gross.
title.
Perfect. Yeah, so anyways, that's your life lesson. If you're a twin, fuck some shit up, do it for us. We love you. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks for listening to our rant. See you later.
Yeah. Peace out. What a success. Alright, assholes. Follow us on Instagram for behind the scenes looks and clips from the episodes. Also subscribe and like on YouTube and Spotify. Leave us a review. We love that shit. Alright, right?
We love that
And
shit.
we love that shit. So again, thanks so much for listening. If you have a story that you want to share, our email is in the description and you can shoot us your story and maybe it'll be on the podcast and that'll be pretty fucking dope. So yeah, peace out. Thanks so much for listening.
What she said. Bye.